Hey guys, E3 2019's been happening. I don't know what date this is going to be out because I'm actually going to probably put a picture of the game I'm talking about when I talk about it instead of just like some scrolling pic or some lame shit. But a lot of games I like have been talked about. I won't be going like super in depth because I need to like kind of lightning around this shit a bit. But I watched Microsoft, Ubisoft, Nintendo. I don't care about Square Enix that much, but we're gonna talk about Final Fantasy for like half a minute. And then Sony didn't have anything, but um, was even gonna talk about that stuff anyways. I don't know, but there were two trailers I saw before like anything. They just kind of showed up in my feed, but I probably would have like watched them anyways because they're games I have interest in, which is why we're talking about them. Also, I have a new microphone. My sister got it for me, so you might be hearing like it be more sensitive. Still trying to test that shit out, but my sister bought it for me because she's absolutely crazy, and I guess she hears my videos about me complaining about that shit. So yeah, first of all, is Death Stranding. We've been seeing that game for this is the third year now, and last year was like the cool trailer where they showed this crazy ass world where nobody understands what's going on or what the story is going to be. And this time they talked about the story a bit, where I guess you're uniting people together, and it still is not exactly clear what's going on because a lot of the game was about stealth missions and like avoiding demons and bad people. But I'm sure I'll probably, if I don't buy the game, probably watch the, I don't know how many hours of cutscenes there's going to be, all 20 hours of cutscenes, because you can add a lot more cutscenes and shit on games where you have to install 30 million gigabytes. And the other random game I saw a trailer for was Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. So I've kind of been a supporter of Yooka-Laylee. Back when that was first on Kickstarter, I didn't have a job or a credit card at the time, and I didn't want to ask my parents to back it for me. But I kind of just want to support Playtonic because they're made up of the people who have kind of made some of my favorite games growing up. But this new one, I already said the name, The Impossible Lair. It's going to be a side scroller, so the first game was 3D, so it was kind of like Banjo-Kazooie and whatnot, and this one's going to be like the Donkey Kong Country games. And it doesn't look super interesting, I guess, because the environments and the characters themselves aren't very interesting to me, but I will check it out. I don't know if it is going to be only on Nintendo, because I think it was on their YouTube channel, but probably going to be digital only. It might be physical. I hope it's physical, otherwise I might wait for, I guess, limited run to make a physical copy, and then I'll buy that, because I'm not a huge fan of digital. Even though it's more convenient, I guess I just don't always feel like clicking a digital game or something. So yeah, first up is Microsoft. They actually had a bit more than I was expecting. They always have like 60 or so games. I think last year they had like 80. This time they had 60. Even though I'm not even gonna list like about 10% of what they showed. But first of all is Battletoads. This might not even be in order of when they're presented. I was trying to remember when they said stuff like afterwards. But first is Battletoads. I'm not like a huge Battletoads fan because I didn't grow up with a NES. Like Battletoads happened before I was even born. But I've played the NES game on Rare Replay, and it was pretty enjoyable. For an NES game, I'd say it's like pretty good. There's a lot of shit on the NES, and there's a few good games, but it's kind of in the mix there. It's gonna be 3-player. It's like hand-drawn animation, beat 'em up stuff. I'm not a huge fan of beat 'em ups because I feel like they get repetitive and boring after 5 minutes, but definitely something I want to check out. It's a Rare game. I know Rare isn't exactly who they used to be, but I don't know, man. Just get Battletoads for the meme. The next game they showed that I had some interest in that might be out of order is Psychonauts 2. The first Psychonauts game has been on my radar for a while because I keep hearing how popular it is. And then, oh, look, now there's a second game, so you better go and check the first one. And if I'm remembering how the premises of the game is that you go inside people's heads to see their dreams or something, which would explain all the fucking teeth they were showing, because I swear, like, it must have just been one level that they were showing over and over again, but there's just teeth everywhere, because, you know, there's I guess the cliche of the dream where you lose your teeth. So, Probably won't get it, but hey, it's interesting. And then they showed like a quick preview of a bunch of games, and one of them was The Good Life, which is a game I backed on Kickstarter. What was that, like about a year now? And that's kind of like it's a life sim game. It's hard to explain. So it's like I guess literally just a life sim. You're going around this village, except I think you showed up there for the first time, and you're a photographer, and I guess you're solving a murder mystery, and also there's a different mystery where at nighttime everyone turns into cats or dogs, and so you yourself get to choose if you become a cat or a dog, and I guess later on you can become both. But I backed it more for the life sim stuff because I have not played a life sim for a while. It like reminded me of Harvest Moon minus the farming stuff, and I guess the farming was like the main part for me. And I think there's gonna be a mining mini game. They haven't really been showing too much in their monthly emails. Just they showed 2 new characters, and then sometimes they'll show a walking animation. But I have no idea what the fuck they've been doing with the entire world of the game. So it was nice to see the 5-second clip and the Microsoft shit because it's like, oh wow, they've kind of been working on this, even though that was all like promotional stuff. I think they already had the city made like a year ago, but it's good to talk about that because I think I spent like $60, but hey, we're getting that on Xbox. Yeah, next up is Way to the Woods, which is, I guess I'd call it like a journey-like game, where you're controlling, I think it's a mama deer, and then you have a baby deer following you, a fawn, and then you're going around this human world without humans. I guess the deers live in the human world too, but it's just like I guess a journey kind of game where you're just moving from location to location, and cool shit happens, and I guess you're supposed to be spiritually enlightened when you play it, and you can be the mama deer and you just like touch noses with your baby, and then the world lights up around you, and it's all adorable, and I just like deers, man. They're in like my top 10 animals or something something like that. Then they showed Tales of Arise. I haven't like been playing any Tales games at all, but I always hear about the GameCube one being good because I think a lot of people want the character from the GameCube one to show up in Smash Bros. But he's had a costume and that's it so far. I don't know, the art style just never kind of like grabs me in, and it looks like they kind of changed up the art style a bit for this next one. And they got waifu girl in there, and they showed her, or they showed the guy protagonist pulling a sword from her chest, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like Xenoblade. And the environments look neat, so I'm like, hey, I'll check that out, even though I've already made the thumbnail and it says do it for her. And it just shows like 9 pictures of her or something. Maybe not 9. I think there were like just 9 different scenes in the trailer that had her, which is a very weird fact I didn't know offhand after photoshopping that shit for an hour. Yeah, probably gonna check that out. I don't know. I'm suddenly like into JRPGs a bit, even though I really have not played any in the past year. But it's just something in my interest range there. They showed Forza Lego stuff. I don't know. I feel like I want to get into driving games, just random driving for the relaxation of it. Definitely not gonna get it. I mean, I've had a Forza game I got for free from like Xbox Gold or whatever last year, and I've never touched it. And it was just the 1 year I think I had some random free gold thing show up, or I was like activating the one I had when I bought my Xbox One years ago. And I was like, oh, I should probably use that before it gets stolen by someone randomly guessing stuff. But yeah, now you can drive as Legos, and do the Legos even break? I don't remember. I guess you can crash into trees and the trees break like Legos. Oh yeah, I didn't write it down because I don't really care about, what was it, Cyberpunk or whatever. But Keanu Reeves was there, and I don't care about that game or Keanu, but he's just kind of been popping up in my life a few times in the past like 2 months. It's like, oh man, Keanu this, Keanu that. Yeah, that's it. He's just fucking breathtaking, man. And then last of all is they talked about the Xbox Scarlet, or Project Scarlet, which is going to be the Xbox 4. Who knows what that's going to be. They just showed tech specs. I watched this clip when I was at work, so I could barely pay attention because I was trying to focus on work and not getting caught. even though I was not in an area where I could be caught. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'll probably get an Xbox 4 later, when there's a smaller model and it comes bundled with a game I want, because I'll be honest, I don't touch my Xbox One ever. Maybe like once every 2 months on average, and even then I play it for half an hour, give or take. So yeah, that's how that's been. That yeah, I don't know what the system's gonna look like or anything. They just were like, guys, it's gonna be awesome, and then I guess the PlayStation 5 specs are already like competing with it or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's it for Xbox. I'll go over Ubisoft real quick because they showed a fucking shit ton of Tom Clancy shit, which I don't care for. I'm not a big gun game guy. But speaking of gun games, they showed Watch Dogs Legion. I remember when they showed Watch Dogs 1, whatever year that was, I thought that was super hype. And then I never ended up getting the game, and I heard from reviews it was an absolute downgrade. But I guess I'll never remember how the gameplay was for that. But on this new one, I don't exactly know what the story is, because there's drones around the city, and they're locking people up. You don't have free will, but then apparently there's a resistance. I think it's actually called the Resistance. And so you're just recruiting people around the city. It also takes place in London, so everyone's speaking with their British accent, and that's not a good one. I'm just changing my voice randomly. Everyone's saying guff and shit like that. You can recruit grandmas. That was like their highlight of the 15 minutes or the 15 minutes of time they spent on Watch Dogs, and I think it looks like it'll be enjoyable. I don't know if I'd get it, but I'm afraid that there's only gonna be like 12 archetypes of people or something, because it seems like, oh, everyone happens to be an ex-spy, or everyone happens to know how to lockpick shit in this town. And then towards the end they showed Roller Champions, which is gonna be an online only game. I don't know if it's gonna be on Nintendo platforms. It seems like it's just gonna be Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam, and maybe the Google Stadia. Maybe we'll talk about that next, which I have nothing to talk about. But anyways, it's like a roller derby, 3 versus 3, and then it's like also like you're shooting balls into hoops. It looks like it would be fun if I had a system that had Wi-Fi to play it. I mean, I could totally download it on my laptop, but I don't really use that for gaming, and I don't feel like it's gonna be optimal for me either. And I've never really tried any gaming on my laptop, so I don't know. It did look pretty interesting. There's like a demo going out. I think it'll probably be done in a day or two, but yeah, I don't know. It looked fun. And then the Google Stadia, like I said, I don't really have much to talk about, but I guess that's happening. That's real. I remember seeing a leak of the controller, like, what was that, 2 months ago or something, and the controller looked like it would be kind of uncomfortable. I would have to hold it to see how it feels, because it was just a 2-dimensional picture of a bird's eye view. So I don't know how the 3-dimensional figure of the grips or anything is gonna be. Yeah, I don't know. It's another competition thing. Will I get it? Depends on if they have amazing exclusives. If they try to be like Nintendo, but also it would be like if they try to have like an HD. I guess Nintendo's already HD. Like just an upgraded Nintendo thing, but again, it's not going to be portable like Nintendo Switch. Not that even matters for me. The portability is not a selling point at all. But yeah, I'll just skip ahead. Going to Square Enix. I only watched for the Final Fantasy VII trailer because I don't really play Square games. They showed Final Fantasy VII, and yeah, it looks great. Will I get it? I don't fucking know. I never grew up with any Final Fantasy games, but I feel like if you have to play one before you die, it's probably 7. 7, or I get, what were the other popular ones, like 12 and 15 and maybe 10, but yeah, I don't know. None of them are on my radar. Will I get it? Fuck if I know. Apparently they might split it into 2 games, like disc 1 and disc 2 or something, or episode 1 and episode 2, so then you have to pay like $120 unless they do like $30 DLC or something like that. But Yeah, maybe I'll get it. I don't know. And then last off is Nintendo. Um, Nintendo mostly showed stuff I was already like they already announced, but still good to just go over everything. Like I'm looking through the list right now, and legitimately, I think I knew about everything except for Empire of Sin, but that's not even a game I'm super interested in. So first off, I don't remember if they talked too much about these first two games. I know they talked a little bit about them, but they had their own Nintendo Direct. Pokemon had one a few weeks ago, and Mario Maker had one at least a month ago. So Super Mario Maker 2, that's coming out in June. Like I don't have any dates for any of these games, but that's coming out. What was it? June 21st. Looks like it's gonna be even better than the first game. They have much more stuff than before. I mean, that's how you do sequels. You add more shit, even if no one's gonna use them. But I feel like the stuff that they added, they actually pay attention to what people want, and pick stuff that makes great level design. So yeah, a lot of cool new tools there. I'm not super big into building stuff anymore. Maybe I'll find a way to make up some cool level, but what really picked or grabbed my attention was the online multiplayer where you can go against other people and just race them or race against them in levels. And I don't remember how exactly it is. If once you die, you have to wait for everyone else to die before you everyone can restart, or if it's just you get one try and that's it. I don't know. We're gonna be doing videos on that when that comes out, and I'm gonna have a blast. And then they showed Pokemon Sword and Shield. They were just kind of like saying they had the demo at E3, but they did have the press conference thing, or I guess their own direct, like 2 weeks ago, or one or 2 weeks ago. And so far, I'm like kind of like meh on the game. I like the world, because the some of the routes. I don't know if it's gonna be some of the routes or most of them, because I think like Route 1 is still gonna be linear, but you got these big open areas where you can find a shit ton of Pokemon roaming around. I don't know if they're gonna add a shit ton of trainers in those areas too, or if they'll come in based on how far you are into the game, for backtracking purposes and stuff. Um, the new Pokemon they've shown so far, I haven't found any that I'm like really in love with. The starters I think are all kind of lame, just based on their first form. The sheep I think is cool, and like the Corviknight, okay, Wooloo and Corviknight, those are the two names I absolutely do remember. I think I have like all but the legendary names memorized. Um, then they what else was there? Like a turtle. I mean, it looks like a Pokemon, but it doesn't look like a one I want to use. Um, the grass types look kind of lame. Then they showed in the demo they had a electric corgi called Yamper, which looks stupid. I think the thing I hate about it is that it has like kind of normal eyes, but then they gave it like yellow highlight around the eyes. So I don't know what it wants to do with that, but it looks kind of dumb, and the tongue looks weird. I'm just gonna be very picky about it. And then Impidimp, which is a fairy dark type, and I don't know why, but it's just like they showed Scorbunny and now Impidimp, and what's with all these gangly Pokemon? Um, Let me go ahead and say that that's not a real Pokemon design. It looks more like a yokai, but whatever. Maybe it'll evolve into something cool looking. It is a unique type. Um, yeah, they showed like the gyms and stuff, how those are gonna be like soccer domes. And I think that's kind of interesting, except that the whole gimmick of Dynamaxing, which is like the new Mega Evolution, or it's going to replace Mega Evolution and Z moves, that's going to be forced into the gym battles, which I guess they were kind of forced last gen too, but I also hated last gen. So really anything is going to be better than the last two games, or last four, because they had sequels that were duplicates pretty much. So yeah, just looking forward to that. I wish I could see more Pokemon though, but I understand they have to like slowly sprinkle that out just to hype people in. But then we'll see a leak right before the game comes out, and I'll be like, oh look all these Pokemon you could have shown us. And then they did not confirm it, but Splatoon 3 is gonna happen. They said there's gonna be one last Splatfest, and it's gonna be Chaos versus Order, and whatever team wins will determine the fate of the story in Splatoon 3. And so I think everyone's going to be kind of rigging it to have Chaos win. So I'm guessing there's going to be people who join Team Order and then purposely sabotage their team just so they can get Chaos to win. Because between Chaos and Order is just the same as before. And the same is great, but Chaos is different. And if you could choose to have something new or the same as before, I think people are going to ask for something new. Whether or not they'll like how it ends up, who knows. But yeah, expect a Chaos victory coming out there. And then that probably won't be coming out for 2, maybe 3 years. Yeah, but let's get into the meat. So first off, they showed Super Smash Bros. DLC. First was The Hero, that's his name, from whatever the new Dragon Quest game is. Again, like Final Fantasy, I never grew up with Dragon Quest, so I'm not attached to these characters in any way. But what they did show was fucking Banjo-Kazooie as the other DLC character for E3. And the first, the hero's going to be like sometime in summer. Banjo is going to be in fall. Oh yeah, and then like the Pokemon games are going to be like November 15 or something like that. Just to give the dates that I do remember. Maybe I remember most of these, but yeah, I'm really stoked for Banjo-Kazooie to be playable because like Banjo-Kazooie on Nintendo 64 is like maybe my second favorite video game ever. It's definitely in my top 5. I fucking love that game to death. And the second I saw the Jiggy just jumping into Donkey Kong's house on the trailer, I was like, holy shit, it's actually real. But there was a lot of like, they weren't real leaks, but just like people that did know about the secret of them being in the game were just kind of like throwing out Banjo, and Banjo wasn't in the or Microsoft's E3, so it was just like, oh, I guess Banjo's gonna be playable. But Spiral Mountain's gonna be a map. We're gonna have a shit ton of music, like new remixes of like classic Banjo-Kazooie music, Kazooie and 2, and maybe Nuts and Bolts. I haven't played through Nuts and Bolts yet, but yeah, just gonna get new remixes of this music I already love. Like holy shit. Then they showed Luigi's Mansion 3. I was already going to get the game like day one, but what they showed really made me excited because like, the first 2 games, I consider them like B tier games. They're both good in their own way, but I was like, okay, this game needs to have so the Luigi's Mansion 1 3DS remake, they had a co-op mode on that. They had 2 copies of the game, which yeah, not happening for most people, but I'm like, okay, if they have co-op in Luigi's Mansion 3, that'll be great. And I really like the Scare Scraper mode in 2. And I'm like, okay, I want that to come back. And they have that coming back too. And it looks great. There's a lot more mechanics you can do with the Poltergust. You can just like chuck shit and yeet them everywhere. And yeah, I don't know. It's looking great. They showed everything that I want to see. So that's what I'll say about that. Next is the Zelda Link's Awakening remake. That one, I'm not going to get it right away. I have the game, or the original game, on my 3DS from Club Nintendo a long time ago, and I think I played it for a few hours, but I got stuck somewhere along the way. But it looks like it's going to be the same stuff as before. I guess there's going to be, when you do dungeons, I guess you unlock rooms, or maybe it's its own secret mode. So then you can make your own custom dungeons and I guess share them around. So it's going to be like Mario Maker, except you can't make the rooms. You can only put them into a grid, I guess. So yeah, that will be something. Next they showed Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which, Zelda or Luigi's Mansion does not have a date yet. It just seems to be sometime in fall. So could be October or November. I feel like they should get it out before Halloween, even though it doesn't really matter. But yeah, sometime in fall. And then Zelda's going to be like September 20th. So that's coming up sooner. And then Fire Emblem will be July 28th, I think. But they showed a bit more of what the plot's going to be, and I could not be more disappointed. So you're going to be like time traveling, I guess. And it's about... So you're like the kind of like the fourth wheel to 3 main characters who are all like half leaders to their own countries, but they all go to school at this one center point. And I guess these 3 main characters, they were like, let's have a class reunion in exactly 5 years. and then 5 years later, and they all want to murder each other in a war. It's like, oh man, and then they all look older, and it's like, wow, that guy who already looked evil looks even more evil. That's crazy. And there's gonna be like another enemy. Um, I don't know. I just want to see like some fucking level design because like that's like the part that I like the most for Fire Emblem, not the characters. Even though, well, I guess the characters themselves are just kind of one dimensional, but just let me see the levels. Conquest on the 3DS had amazing levels, and that was what kind of sold me onto modern Fire Emblem. And Echoes, I know it was a remake of an old game, kind of sucked to me. So I just want to see what the next Fire Emblem game is gonna have in store for level design. And the music is always gonna be great too. Yeah, let's go to the next thing. Astral Chain. So that's coming out sometime in August, like late August, I think. I'm gonna wait for reviews on that and for probably a sale. It's by Platinum, who makes like Bayonetta and other stuff I have not played. But I don't know. It seems a bit interesting to me, but I guess I wanna see how it is after it comes out, or before I buy it. I don't even know how to describe the premise. I guess like you're fighting demons, but you can also like manipulate the demons by capturing them, and then the demons are like super strong, and you're one and the same once you have your own demon sidekick. So I don't know. You play as a cop in this town that's about to die, and that's the plot. I don't know. There's Team Rocket looking girl Jessie. Next is Empire of Sin. I don't know if I'm gonna get this game. They had all the swanky vibes of like the 1920s or whatever, the Roaring 20s, and I liked that. I don't know if it's gonna be like a top-down perspective game. They showed more cutscene than they showed game, and so I don't know what the game really is about. And next up on the list is Cadence of Hyrule. There was a subtitle to it because it is actually like something Necro Dancer, but it's like a rhythm game. But they had like, or Nintendo gave these people the ability to use Link and Zelda in it. And so it's a rhythm game. It's like a grid style rhythm game where on every beat you can either move forward one square or do an attack, and then all the enemies do the same shit per beat. So it looks like a really cool concept, and I feel like I'm only interested in it because it's Zelda, and I don't even play the Zelda games, so probably won't get it. But I think that's gonna be out. It might be out by the time I get this out, but this video out. But it was gonna be like the 13th, I think. And then next they showed Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Olympics, and I have not played that since the 2012 game for London, and every year I'm like, no, doesn't look interesting. And this next one, it looks more interesting than the last ones. They have skateboarding, but that's probably gonna be not your Tony Hawk skateboarding. It's gonna be like the fucking ice skating from the Winter Olympics, where it's just God, what's the fucking word? Where it's just like the path is set for you, and all you do is press the button when the button shows up. They had rock climbing. Again, that's probably gonna be like nothing too exciting because it's just all gonna be like button mashing or probably Joy-Con motion control waggling. Maybe I'll check it out when it's like $20. I don't know. Just something on my radar. And it was also interesting to see that the characters actually like dress up for the sport they play. So like for swimming stuff, I think they're actually going to be barefoot. For judo, they wear fucking robes. Just stuff like that makes the game more atmospheric, I guess. And then next they showed Animal Crossing New Horizons. I don't know when the Olympic game comes out. Animal Crossing got delayed to like March 20, 2020. And I don't know if I'm too excited about it now. I have not played the Pocket Camp game on mobile, so maybe it has a lot of similarities to that. But you start off on a brand new island instead of being in this village that might as well be an island. And I guess you start in a camp. I mean, it's going to be the same as normal, but now I guess you get to customize your world a bit more than before. I think that's what the focus is trying to be about. And you can put furniture outside, and I guess build your own paths instead of trying to make instead of like just running around the same area enough times for the dirt to slowly deteriorate into a path, or just put because that looks stupid, then just put like carpeting over it, or textures, I guess, so that you have your own custom path. And there's like crafting stuff. I don't know if that was in the mobile game. I don't know. I feel like I'd rather have crafting stay out. That's just me. But maybe they'll do it cool. You can like pole vault over rivers, which is okay, I guess. I think what surprises me the most is that they are delaying it, because I feel like Animal Crossing is a pretty easy game to make, especially if you've already made 4 other Animal Crossing games. And I've seen online people are like, it's okay, Nintendo, delay it so it's a good game. Like, how do you screw up Animal Crossing? I honestly want to know. If they stay to the formula with New Leaf, literally, okay. New Leaf came out, what, like 6-7 years ago? That's enough time to make a fucking Animal Crossing. Let's just get that out of the way. I know they could have started it last year, and then they were like, oh shit, we should probably like announce this so that they don't fucking yell at us again. And so people get mad that they don't announce an Animal Crossing game, and then they announce that they're delaying it, and suddenly it's okay, guys. No, I'm pretty sure the fan base should be pissed. And I'm trying to start chaos here, but whatever. I'll be playing that every day for 200 days straight again. I'll be there. And then they showed another like demo reel thing. Is that what it's called? I don't know, but the Spyro HD trilogy is gonna be on Switch, which I was like 60% sure that was gonna happen, but I wasn't 100% sure. So good to see that's happening, because I didn't want to get the Spyro trilogy on Switch and then now I have the Spyro, I might Crash, and then I had the Spyro on like Xbox. It's just that's kind of weird, because those are supposed to be a duo of some sorts. And yeah. I think that's like September 3rd or something. So I'll be getting that when it's on sale on Black Friday or something. And then last of all, they showed a sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild. It makes sense, because I think they've been working on that game and engine for 3 or 4 years. Probably 4, maybe 5. So they gotta get their money's worth out of the world. And it looks like Ganon's coming back to life. They gave Zelda a haircut. And that was really all we saw. They were playing a song backwards, so I'm sure all your video editors out there are gonna try and reverse engineer the song to make sure that it's also just gibberish being sung. Gibberish Latin, my favorite. But yeah, that's probably not coming until earliest, I'm gonna say holiday 2019, but honestly it could be a long time for that. Before or after the Xbox Scarlet, who knows? But that's it for the E3 2019 first impressions. So I guess if you care, tell me what you guys think. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Twitter. It's going to be in the description, but it's at HIJELLO64, HiJello64. Because you never know, when I say hi, they might mean HIGH, but no, I mean hi like the greeting. Okay, that's enough rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, again. Bye.